Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with another random update video. So, today we are talking about the Shadow Wars. So obviously, not too long ago, we did the Shadow Wars, or Shadow Wars. We did Shadow of War for the playthrough for the channel. Now, we started that playthrough before my hiatus. I had to take a hiatus, unfortunately, and then we returned. Then I came back, and I was able to return to my channel, and we finished the playthrough. Pretty much. So all of that was great. Now, at the very end of Shadow of War, there's not just a nice, concise, easy, cheesy ending to the game, and for those of you that have not played it or seen the end, there is something called the Shadow Wars. So the Shadow Wars is basically a series of battles. It's very grindy and very difficult, and it's the very, very end. Now, if you do that, you get the quote-unquote true ending. And I have never seen the true ending. There is an achievement tied to doing the Shadow Wars, and it's a series of 10 battles, and they are very, very difficult. And that is what the Shadow Wars is. So the plan here was, and I said this throughout the Shadow Wars, or with the Shadow of War. I said this throughout that playthrough, but the plan was that we were going to move into something else, and then that something else was Dragon Age Origins, which we're doing currently. And then during that playthrough, I was going to work on the Shadow Wars stuff off camera. I was going to record the big battles, and I was going to show you guys how it all goes. And then in probably one concise video, I would show you how basically everything went. I would make one nice edited video where we would do the Shadow Wars stuff together, and then once Shadow of War was done, oh my god, I'm like congested or something. Anyway, once Dragon Age Origins was done, by then I would hopefully be done with the Shadow Wars, and then we could put up that video during that playthrough at some point, and then jump right into the story DLCs for Shadow of War. That was the plan. There's been some hiccups. There is some problems with how that went, because I was working on the Shadow Wars stuff off camera, just like I said I was. I haven't talked about it in a long time, because the fact is I haven't done it in a long time. Because here's the thing, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's hard as balls, okay? It is hard as shit. Okay, so here's what happened. I think there's 10 battles in the Shadow Wars stuff. Now, I think there's 10 battles. I think 4 of them. I think I was in the 5th battle, I believe. And things get hard. Things get really, really hard. And so the enemy, of course, has upgrades the same way that you have upgrades in the regular game, okay? So their assault has upgrades. The difference is as far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be a way to disable their captains in advance. Like, it doesn't seem like I can disable them and make their assault weaker like I would do in the base game to make things manageable. Like, it doesn't seem like you can do that. You have to just do the battle. Like, you can't, like, take out their bodyguards so that you're not fighting 1,000 guys at the same captains at the same time. And it doesn't seem like you can do that. Like, I mean, maybe I'm dumb and maybe there's a way and I just never figured it out. I would love that to be the case, because that means there's maybe a shot I could pass the Shadow Wars stuff. But here's the thing. I think it was Battle 5. So I jumped into Battle 5, and it's hard. The first problem is the enemy has the Shelob's Children, I think is what it's called, upgrade. It's been a long time since I played the game, so I think it was, but it's basically an upgrade that allows spiders, the Shelob spiders, to attack the enemy, and in this case, me and my captains. And so, for starters, I'm a little bit bent out of shape that they're even allowed to use it, because I had to work and get, like, a whole bunch of something, like a collectible thing, or recruit certain captains, or there was some requirement that I had to work my ass off for to get that upgrade, okay? If memory serves. And why they're allowed to use it when Shelob is on my team is beyond me anyway. So that already offends me a little bit, because it's bullshit. I worked for that upgrade, and they can just use it even though Shelob's on my team. That makes no freaking sense. So I'm a little bit offended at that. Just by default, I'm a little offended. Okay, but let's say we looked past all that. The problem is those little spiders appear all over the battlefield, including in the back of my fortress. So the problem is I can have have captains back there doing nothing. They're just chilling. There's no combat. My walls are not breached. The gate's not broken. They can't climb the walls because I have the upgrade that does it, so it prevents them from climbing. And they can spiders will just appear back there and attack my captains, which means that now my captains go down, and I think they're technically war chiefs, but whatever. The point is they go down, and now I am really paranoid about my captains dying because it takes so much work to recruit them, and some of them are super good with the upgrades they have or abilities they have or whatever. So I now run to the back of my own fortress to save captains of mine that are getting dropped, and when I should be up front helping defend the front, because the fact is there's hell coming and I'm just not even aware yet. And so that's the first problem. So now I'm running around my fortress just reviving captains, and that's all I'm doing. I'm no longer assisting in the defense. I'm just trying to revive my own captains, and so that's super counterproductive. So that's the first problem. The second problem is because it doesn't seem like there's any way, and as far as I know, there is no way to like weaken an enemy assault, like weaken their war chiefs and their bodyguards. It means they show up with one war chief and full bodyguards. That's what it means. So, and the enemy attack comes in waves is how it works. And so the enemy attack shows up in waves. I think I defeated like the first 1 or 2 waves, whatever it was. Now, the full war chiefs don't appear at every wave. Like a lot of the waves, like the first wave will be like 2, and then the second wave will be 3 or whatever. And so it kind of goes in waves. So I defeated like the first wave or 2. It was going fine. It was going fine. And it was going fine. The next wave appears. I think it was like 3 war chiefs, and they each had full bodyguards. So there's like 4 bodyguards. So now there's like 15 captains on the field because there's the war chiefs, all their bodyguards. So what is that? That's like 4, 8, 12, 15. There actually is 15. It actually was 15, assuming it was like 3 of the war chiefs. But they had full bodyguards. So there's like 12 guys on the field at once. And the thing is, they also had an upgrade that allowed them to capture points more quickly. And so the thing is, like, they got in my fortress, because the thing is, I was looking up tips on things on how to pass the Shadow War stuff, because I was really struggling to pass this one. I had tried it once before, I got my ass kicked, and so I had restarted. I had done a lot more grinding. I got my captains to way better levels, and I had purposely grinded to get poison-proof captains and put them in the back of the base so I wouldn't have to worry about reviving them from poison. And so at least the back 2, I think 2 or 3 of my war chiefs were immune to poison. And so I only had to babysit like the guys that I'm right up front with anyway. And so that was something I did to make it easier. So the thing is, you're never going to stop them from getting into your fortress, because a strategy that I read online was some dude was saying that if you get the upgrade so that they can't climb your walls, like the spikes, so they have to use sappers or like those kind of guys. They have to use like Olag High or sappers or Graugs or things like that to get on your walls or destroy your walls. And so I got that upgrade. They said to get the strongest gate, which of course I did. They said to get the Drake upgrade, so a Drake will sit behind the gate and breathe fire out of these slots and burn anything in front of the gate. But the thing is, I did that because the idea was, if you snipe out the Olag High, the sappers, and the Graugs, and their siege weapons, they can't get in the gate anymore. So they can't breach your walls, they can't break the gate, and that's it. The thing is, it's not true. They can't break the walls, but the thing is, like, there's a lot of things on the field. There might be all of those things at the same time. You might have Olag High captains, so they're not just like regular Olag High, they're way, way stronger. Those guys, of course, aren't going to go down immediately like a lot of the rest of these guys are. They have siege equipment, they have war Graugs, and maybe 12 captains, all at the same time. So maybe I can snipe. And so like there was one battle where they did that. They had war Graugs, they had like the siege Graugs, the war Graugs, which are like running into melee, and they had sappers and Olag High. And I passed that one because the siege equipment, you only have to shoot their ammunition that hangs on the side of their belts, and it will like light them on fire and they freak out. And you have to like, there's like 3 ammunition on each one. If you shoot 2 of them, they'll almost die and the fire that's around them will finish them off, or you can shoot the third one and kill them instantly. So you can like stun lock those guys and just kill them. That you just like eventually I got an upgrade that'll put mines in the battlefield. The mines alone killed one of the Wargraugs. The second one I was shooting him and stun locking him and he was stepping on mines and I took him out. The sappers, there was only a few. I got them and I passed that. So it would have to be worse for me not to be able to do it. And so then it was the next battle that did a lot of those things and then had I think it was 15 captains. So obviously there's a lot going on. So the fact is you can't stop them from getting in, because even if the Drake is at the gate and he breathes fire and he's nuking all the orcs and like most of anything, and they're stunned and he's almost stun locking a lot of the captains, some of them are going to be fireproof, which means they don't care about fire. And they're gonna get through. But the thing is, I'm not fireproof. So if I run to the front of the gate trying to kill captains that are immune to the fire, I get lit on fire. That's what happens. I get lit on fire, and my character's freaking out and taking mad damage, and I can't not do that. And so maybe I could shoot like the captain, but I don't have unlimited arrows. I can't just shoot for eternity. It's not like he's gonna, and eventually he's gonna adapt anyway. He's gonna adapt, and the arrow plan isn't even gonna work. And so it's like, what am I supposed to do? And the thing is, once the gates breach, it's over. It's already over. Because there was like I said, there's 15 captains on the field at once. They break through I think it was the gate at the time. They might have also broken through one of the walls, because at least one of the captains was an Olog High. And so they had Olog High that broke through my walls and my gate, and they captured a point in I think it was 2 seconds or 2 or 3 seconds, because they have like I said, they have 15 captains. And so they captured the first point in a nanosecond. I was on the walls shooting guys and doing stuff because it was going good. And I was either on the walls or I went to the ground and was killing some of the captains. I was doing stuff. I wasn't just, jerking off somewhere. And they captured the first point immediately. I'm like, oh shit, they got in. I turn around and jump into the base to try and catch up. They're Usain Bolt. It's like they all have the Wraith sprint that I have, and they used it to sprint to the back of the base. And I was using my Wraith sprint to catch up. I was running the same route they took. I tried cutting over some buildings to save time. I'm using the Wraith abilities to fly as fast as I could, and guess what? It didn't help, because they captured the second point before I even reached it. I finally got there. They're already at the third point at that point, and they were immediately capturing that, and I just dashboarded. I was so mad because I can't catch him, I can't kill him. There's 16 captains on the field at once. And it was at least the second attempt I had done that fortress. And the fact is, the bottom line is, I'm not having fun anymore, because it's one achievement. I have many games I can get achievements from. I'm not 100%ing Shadow of War anyway, so what do I care how good the completion rate is on the game? And if Shadow Wars is so frustrating, it's not worth my time, because there's other games I can play. There's other achievements I can even get in the game. I'm not 100%ing it, so what do I care if I miss this one stupid achievement or not? Because the plan is today is we're going to watch the true ending cutscene video. I've never seen it. I'm just going to put it into this video just so I can know what's happening. And then this will be my quote-unquote Shadow Wars update, which is really just me telling you what happened and then bitching about it. But this way you know that I didn't just not do it. I didn't just forget about it. But this way we can mark it as completed on my to-do list, and then whenever I want to get to the Shadow of War story DLCs, we can just do that. And there still will be a lot of achievements that we get in the Shadow War, or not Shadow Wars, but in the story DLCs for Shadow of War. There'll be a lot of achievements we can get in that, and there'll be clearing the map kind of stuff. I think I've seen achievements like that too. We're gonna get all that stuff. But the thing is, the Shadow Wars is annoying. The Shadow Wars is annoying and hard as shit. I have no idea how you're supposed to pass that. Especially once you get to Battle 5, I think, and the guy shows up with 15 captains on top of all the upgrades and stun locking and killing all my captains from poison and everything else. And I don't know how you're supposed to pass that. And I read other strats online, people saying, yeah, you just make sure you switch this gem for this gem, and then suddenly your captains are 50% more immune to damage. And I saw people rattling off tips, but none of them seemed like solid tips. I think you just have to be better than I am. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of tips I was reading didn't seem like amazing tips. It just seemed like you just be better than me. and then you'll do fine. So I don't know, man. So like I said, I just, for the most part, the answer at the time was I just don't care anymore, and it was hard, and I don't care, and so I'm not doing it. So we're going to I'm gonna put in the video right now the of what the true ending cutscene is, whatever it is, and then it'll be blind for me too because I've never seen it. So I'm just gonna insert that into my video here, and because I just looked it up on YouTube, and so we're gonna watch that together, and then not together. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm assuming you're gonna watch it, and then whenever I get to the Shadow Wars or the Shadow of War story stuff, we'll do that. But I don't even know when that's gonna be. Like I do want to do them, but like the fact is, I've also in my head moved on from Shadow of War, and so some part of me is a little bit mad still, a little bit, and I don't really want to go back right now. Like, and so I don't know when those are gonna be done, and like the fact is now I can still mark the playlist is still complete, the story is still technically over, and with this update video now even the true ending cutscene is in my playlist. So I don't feel super guilty about not doing it. I do wish I could have just done it and not have to do it this way, but the fact is I don't care enough to make myself suffer through it. So that's the plan. Anyway, so sorry that's not quite the update that you might have hoping for, but it is what it is. And so anyway, here's the cutscene, and that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.
Talion held back the forces of darkness for decades, but the Dark Lord's ring had a will of its own.
It is over. Together, we will turn towards Middle-earth.
Talion finally fell and joined the Nine. In the years that followed, the One Ring was found. The newest of the Nazgul traveled with his brothers to the Shire in pursuit of the new Ring Bearer. And then, after decades of war, darkness gave way to light. A new fellowship, and an unlikely hero. Death came. Death to Sauron. Death to his dominion. And death to Talion, who walked out of darkness and found freedom.